alarm sounding in the hospital, there are a number of procedures to follow. When you hear the sound of a fire alarm, make your way to the nurse's station immediately. If there's a fire extinguisher on the way to the nurse's station, grab it. You may need it. The best way to carry a fire extinguisher is with manual handling practices in mind. There is opportunity to hold it at the bottom of the fire extinguisher, support it against your chest to the center of your body and hold it firmly. Let's go. As we're making our way to the nurse's station, it's imperative we check for signs of smoke and smell for fire. Guys, there's been a fire alarm raised. Anybody in here? Let's go. In response to the fire alarm, we meet at the nurse's station and we don our hats and respond according to procedures. It's the Chief Warden's responsibility to command through the operation and start the communication procedures with the floor wardens. One of the floor warden's key responsibilities in a fire emergency evacuation is to make their way to the whip phone, to identify themselves on the whip phone and stand by for instructions, keeping eye contact at all times or as much as possible with the warden. It's the warden's responsibility to keep eye contact and communicate with the floor warden and pass those instructions down through to the people and team on the floor. There's also the position of the deputy warden. Should the chief warden not be on site, the deputy warden acts in his place.
There are people who give, and there are people who take. Oh, and I believe it's gonna get better. Realize what a difference you make and don't turn away. Hey, I'm talking to you.
In the event that we have to respond to the fire with the use of a fire extinguisher, drop to the ground, place your finger through the pin and pull. In any number of areas in the hospital, there are fire blankets which are strategically placed. These as well can be used for a couple of purposes. Pulling the white straps at the bottom, pull the blanket out. The blanket can then be used to shield, number one, yourself from fire, to get through a passageway, should that be necessary. But most importantly, it can also be used to smother a fire by throwing it over the fire.
Just see what's going on around you. Look down, everybody.
In the event that we decide to respond to the fire with the fire water hose, turn the hose on, which releases the actual nozzle itself. Working quickly, grabbing enough hose to get ourselves out and around to the fire. And just be careful not to create a trip hazard for yourself. So we've made our way out towards the fire outside. Now the best way to turn this thing on is just stepping over it, lean into it, and clockwise as you turn on the nozzle, spraying the base of the fire. Make sure that you have a firm stance and you're leaning into the hose to support any back pressure kicks.
Look there, thing they ought to know. The bomb is just about to burst. Telling me better beware. The word is on the street. Get up on your feet, shout out.
It's also very important to locate your oxygen and gas supplies and turn them off before vacating the floor. Make sure upon vacating that you close all doors and windows. In the event of an emergency evacuation, we never take the elevator, we take the stairwell. Always check the door to make sure that it's not hot below. Make sure you know where your assembly point is on the map itself.
It's never too late. It's time to make a move. Get up on your feet and shout, stop, look down. Everybody, just see what's going on.
really important to know your emergency assembly points surrounding the hospital. Pay attention to all signs and certainly do not block fire doors and exits.